Now is the moment of truth, and now is the time Nigeria might split. Congratulations ahead to my fellow Biafrans, and of course, congratulations ahead to the Oduduwa nations. There is no country that will be built on secularity. Nigeria has been confirmed to be a law governed by Sharia. Let me quickly read to you what a former media spokesperson of Buhari said. Bashir Ahmad, on the screen you can see it. He said, Nigeria recognizes and operates 3 legal systems. I repeat, operates 3 legal systems. That means it is legalized. That accommodate our diverse cultural and religious composition. The 3 distinct legal regimes are 1, common law, customary law, and Sharia law. I repeat, common law, customary law, and Sharia law, each serving specific groups within our society. He went further to elucidate on his point. He said the common law derived from the British legal tradition. English common law serves Christian. How true is that? How true is that? Okay, but again, he said the English law serves the Christians and secular individuals, and it is the default legal framework for most civil and criminal cases. A blatant lie. Number 2, he said the customary law addresses traditions and practices of Nigeria. The what? The tradition and practices of Nigeria's various ethnic groups, catering specifically to the traditionalists. Can you see the methodology this guy and his fellow cohort think they have? Now, he also went further. He said it governs issues such as marriage, inheritance, land ownership, provided these customs do not conflict with statutory law. Before I go further into the Sharia, which is the crux of the matter, I want to point out a scenario that happened in Ilorin. In Ilorin, just this year in Ilorin, when every other southwestern state were celebrating the Isheshe Day. Isheshe Day is explained in English as the traditionalist day. And then this woman and her fellow co-practitioners, they went. In fact, they went into a bush. They didn't go to the main city. They didn't go to Kwara. Get me right, though. These women, who are what? The Oshun worshipper, they went into a bush area to go and do their what? Their annual rituals, give their what? Their thanksgiving back to their deity. Then some people rose. About 45,000 of them called Islam, Muslims, Afars, Sheikhs, and said it is against Sharia law. And then we started asking, is Ilorin under the Sharia law? I thought the Sharia law wasn't a statutory law. They didn't end there. They went into the house of those women, one by one, burned down those houses, humiliated those people, disgraced them on national television, and the governor could not say anything. Don't forget, we said we have the customary laws. According to their own customs, are they not on their own right to practice their traditional beliefs? Are they not right to go into a bush? They didn't go to the front of a mosque. They didn't go to go give that sacrifice to their deity in front of a moshalashi. They went into a bush where nobody lives. These over 40,000 Muslim clerics fetched them out, embarrassed them, dealt with them in their own religious beliefs. And then someone will tell you that the Sharia law is not for the what? It's not for the non-Muslims, it's not for the Christians, but just for the. If you believe such nonsense, you are the biggest fool. On the last note, Bashir Ahmed said, Sharia law. Don't forget when I started, he said there are three what? Distinct legal regimes. So the Sharia is a legal law, which means you can't be persecuted. For it to be legalized, if you find yourself in a Sharia governed state, which ought not to be, by the way, if you go check the section 36 or 35 or so in the constitutional Nigerian constitution, initially it said Nigeria is a secular state. But fast forward to section 237 or thereabout, or 273, it says that the Nigerian state shall recognize Sharia law. So you can see the conflict. And here is why I said, congratulations to the Biafrans, whom have always stood firmly on that notion that Nigeria was never a country, that Nigeria wasn't supposed to be a nation. I have always said it. I have always said it. I have been a practitioner of the two religions, Christians and Muslims. And I know that these two might not be able to coexist. Because one is liberal, one is on the other side of conservatism. One might just look away, one will question, query, persecute, and nail to the cross. As a matter of fact, he went ahead and said that justification, he said, Sharia law derived from Islamic principle governs the personal and religious affairs of Muslims. Hey, listen carefully. These are the lies they told Alimi in the late 80s before he was beheaded and he was conquered and Ilorin was stolen away from the Yorubas. These were the lies Alimi told to Afonja when he came. He said, initially, yes, we are Muslims, but we can help you to go into the battle to fight the Oyo Empire. When we do that, all we need is just a piece of land. Well, you give us this piece of land, we are going to have our own affairs. Nobody will be at war. We'll, of course, certainly just live together. You will all eternally remain our king. And Afonja, a gullible Yoruba leader, he was a formidable warrior, by the way. But of course, because of his covetousness for power, he wanted to just unseat the life of that time. And you see, this is what they do. They use your weakness and come in through you. The Yoruba's weakness today is their liberalism. And I've always said it, there is no nation that can be built on liberalism. Nobody, no nation. Show me one. And I will show you 110,000 countries that was not built on liberalism. There is no nation. There is what we call a majority religion. So this idea, this idea that Nigeria is a secular state is a facade, is a lie digged out from the pit of hell to deceive the unsuspecting Christians and, of course, the unsuspecting traditionalists who have been deceived and now they have been pushed and camped and, of course, caged in a corner. You can see they are voiceless. The pastors who are raking in billions and millions, the Ayedepos, the Adeboyes, the Oyakilomes, all of these irrelevant men of God, because they are, as far as I'm concerned, they are irrelevant. They do not have any influence upon the life of the people. Politically, they don't matter. When you talk about economically, they do not matter. They are just after their own personal largesse. So that issue that Nigeria is a secular state is a blatant lie. And like I said earlier, the Constitution in the section 237 or 273 recognizes Sharia, and this further buttresses our point that Nigeria was never a secular state. And this has always been the outcry of the Biafrans, that why will I, as an Igbo man, call myself a one Nigeria, and then I decide that my environment has given me more than enough. I need to now expand down up to the north. I should establish a bar, a club, a lounge, a boutique, or a stripper clubs. What of you, which is, of course, recognized by the statutory law. But when I get to the north, they tell me there is a police that identifies as Sharia, identifies as Sharia enforcer, named Isba, and they have every right that is legally backed to destroy my business, to break all my alcoholic bottles, and there's nothing I can do, even if I take it down to the just maybe the common law court or whatever it is called, and I would not have a win. I would not get a justice. And in fact, if I do anyhow, they will further take me down to the Sharia court. In that instance, it simply means the Sharia court in that space has the supremacy to decide the type of justice and the kind of punishment that I get at the end of the day. And then you tell me Nigeria is a one country. Are religions not supposed to be conversations that are personal? Are religions not supposed to be things that exist only within your family and, of course, maybe within your religious gatherings? Are religion conversations not supposed, are they now supposed to have supremacy over the common law of the land? The common law is what brings the affinity, generality, the commonality, the equality amongst the people within a confinement. Yes, if they are saying that the Nigerian contraption is one, it simply means there should be a common law that protects me if I move from the south through the river Niger, up to Niger, up to Sokoto, Kaduna, Kano. There should be a common law that protects my right as a person. But what is happening today is immediately you step your leg outside Oyo State and then you get into the Ilorin, even before the river Niger, before you get to Jeba, you are now governed by Sharia laws. It simply means that when you step your leg into the Niger State and then you go further into Kaduna, Kano, Katsina, if you go there and mistakenly hold your can of beer, you might just be dealt with Sharia law. They won't even take your time, and they won't take their time and ask you, are you Christian? You know what story they are cooking? They are cooking a story now, telling us, yeah, the Sharia law that we want to have in the Yoruba land is mainly for the Yoruba Muslims. But again, there are so many Yoruba Muslims who don't give a damn about the Sharia law. And there are a lot of the Yoruba Christians who do not even want it. But you know what? Saudi Arabia is financing those pushing for this thing. And I know that if Nigeria will remain one, it has to be religion that will keep it. And if Nigeria will split, it's going to be religion. I've always said it, that the most significant divide amongst the people is religion. And because it cuts across. And let me tell you why. You have Yorubas are Yorubas. But you have Igbo Christians, you have Muslim Christians, you have Hausa Christians. What does that tell you? Religion has a wider spread, which simply means it is a more potent political tool, if well weaponized, can be used to control the mind of the people. I mean, you can see these supposed educated Yorubas today, some professors, they call themselves emeritus, some senior advocates who have been reduced. They have been reduced to nothing Yeah, because of religion. Most of the time, you see them bowing down, turning to dummies. They just promote them with religion. And of course, everything that they might have gathered over the years in school because of an imaginary, because it is imaginary. No matter how you want to say it, God is imaginary. Nobody has seen God. So we all imagine, accept, believe, have faith that He exists. What if you get to the other side, there's nothing like that? But again, you see the professors, I mean, all these well-read people within the Yoruba contraption being manipulated and used by the religion. This is what the Fulanese have understood, have perfected, have well studied, that if they will conquer the Southwest, they have Nigeria. But again, I congratulate the Biafrans because the Biafrans already have their heart locked. They have it locked. There's no way you're bringing that shit down there. They've said it. Their culture, their belief, their ideology is against this Sharia, is against Islam. Though I know there are some Igbo Muslims, but they are on the minority level. On a larger scale, Igbos are Christians. But today we can argue it. It is an arguable debate that if we look at the Yoruba country now, we might have more Muslims than Christians. Yes. You know why? Because the Muslims, the religion encourages you having multiple wives, which by extension means you have more children. And of course, which simply means we will have more population of Muslims in Yoruba land. And it's unfortunate. If care is not taken, it is about time, maybe it's about time the Biafrans will eventually have their goal achieved. Thank you.